I am the big tank.
On the battlefield of life, nothing's harder than a tank. Yeah, have you ever met a man, heart's full of love, bigger than a tank?
Big tank.
He served in a few wars, he's a veteran that stands for a cause. For the best interviews and news, just keep it glued to the
Tank. I
tank.
am the tank. Big
Big
tank.
Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Hi, friends. Big Tank here with another episode of Big Tank Talk. Today we have an award-winning country singer, Rob George. Rob, thank you for taking some time to sit down with us and answer some questions.
Hey, thank you for having me. I mean, come on, that's highly appreciated. Thank you for the invite.
And the honor is mine to be able to talk to you. Um, Now, I introduced you as an award-winning country music artist. So what first got you into music to begin with?
Into music, well, I got to go back a little bit. I had been competing in the equine discipline of cutting, where you work cattle from horseback. And I was in that sport for over 10 years up to the World Series level, and I lost one of my show horses. And I had to leave the ranch after that horse passed away. I couldn't be there no more. I needed a break for a few weeks, and I decided to go to Nashville to take vocal coaching because I never in my life had vocal coaching before. I sang like for
Right.
family and friends at birthdays or weddings or whatever was happening. But I never had vocal coaching, and I thought, why not? I needed something which had nothing to do with horses at that time. Understandable.
Understandable.
So I took that chance and booked vocal coaching at two different ladies in Nashville, vocal coaches, and had 3 weeks off, just having in the morning an hour with the one, and in the afternoon another hour with the other one. So this is how I did spend three weeks in Nashville in early two. That was in March 2018. And one of these ladies said, "Hey Rob, you got to be on the radio." So Houston, we had a problem.
Understandable.
Yeah, so I was 43 back then, and I had to really think about what I'm doing now, like drop all my career that I had in the sports of cutting,
Right.
or throw everything, like, yeah, let it go down the drain and start totally over in the music industry. And it was I guess, yeah, that decision took a few weeks, but then I decided, come on, let's do it. I'm 43. That's not too old, so just try it out, and yeah, the rest is history.
Well, it certainly turned out to be well worth the risk of going in a totally new direction. And
It
as a
is.
music fan, I'm appreciative of the fact that you did that. Um,
Thank you so much.
can you describe your creative process when you're making music, when you're singing your songs, or do you write your own songs, or do you sing other people's songs?
I do both actually. So I started out in my career mostly singing my own originals because I just wrote them and I kicked them out there. Like every 6 weeks, a new song for like I don't know, 1.5 years, 2 years. So I was actually focusing on the new stuff that I brought out. But the more I was active on social media with my songs, the requests came for cover songs. So in first in my lives over on Facebook, I started to go live on Facebook back then. Now my headquarters is on Clapper because I think Clapper is the platform that appreciates us artists the most. This is why I have like 99% of my activity, social media is Clapper now. And I actually have a series on Clapper called Rob's Acoustic Covers, in which I play cover songs, also big label artists, but also independent artists, because I know for sure that a lot of people don't know some of really good talented artists, which are independent artists. They have no money to bring their music to spread their music like the big labels do, so they
Right.
are definitely underrated. And this is what I try to also do in these series, like bring that kind of music out, which is highly underrated.
Rob, I'm glad you brought up Clapper. That's where you and I met originally. The
Right.
reason I'm glad you brought it up because I'm aware of a performance group that you put together called the Artist Alliance on Clapper. I'd like for you to tell my listeners some more about the Artist Alliance.
The Artist Alliance was an idea back then. It was founded by Piano Mike on Clapper, SGD's Music, and the last if in our group was Jive Mind back then, Blake. Um, very talented artists, all of them, and we decided to join forces to push our music actually, and to push music on Clapper. So we decided to stick our heads together and come up with a radio show. That was the first thing that we did. A
Excuse me.
welcome radio show. On Clapper, you can have radios. You can host a radio show, and you can
Right.
bring people up as hosts to speak or as speakers. And we had that welcome corner radio show going on, so people could come into our room, um, get on there as a speaker, and could introduce themselves to the Clapper audience. This is how it all started. We, as hosts, would throw like a verse and a chorus in there in between when we were hosting, so there was a little bit music in between that. Um, the radios on Clapper, with each update, they got unstable, so we changed the format into a live show. Meanwhile, so we are having audio and video, and it's a music show. Meanwhile, so everybody can come in there. Artists on Clapper can come into the room, raise their hands, and we bring them up stage. They can sing a song with us. We do like Nashville style singing rounds, so everybody would sing a song, and it's just cycles. We do mostly 2 or 3 rounds, depending on how many artists are in there. Mostly our shows are like about 5 to 6 hours long, and everybody who's performing in on these shows, we have one on Wednesday and one on Sundays. Rob and friends, anybody who comes in and sings for us can actually join, if they're good enough, can join the Artist Alliance. And then we have at the moment we are 38 people in the Artist Alliance. What we do in the Artist Alliance is these 2 weekly shows, but we also support small business owners or people who are shy, who don't know how to go live. They want to go live, but they don't know how, and they don't know what to do. So they actually message us, the Artist Alliance, and say, "Hey, I plan to go live that day, that time. Can someone of your team be there?" So the guys that are available on that day will show up in the room. They will raise their hands to people, small business owners, and the shy people can bring us up like we are now next to each other, and we can calm them down. We can, when shop owners show their T-shirts, we read what's going on in the chat, and we tell them, "Hey, uh, whatever. Susanna wants to know the price of that T-shirt." So we are actually communicating with their audience, and they can show off their products. That's what we're doing.
Rob, I have to tell you, the way you support not just other artists, but small businesses and people who are willing to step out of their comfort zone is really inspiring for someone like me. I love music, but I'm not a singer, and I do sing occasionally, but I know that's not my forte, so to speak. But to watch the way you support people is really truly inspiring, and I'm hoping that I can bring some of that energy in with Big Tank Talk as I start to get to know some of the really talented performers that I've been blessed to meet, including you and a good friend of yours, Navy Chief.
Hmm. Yeah, Navy is a good guy.
So I still would like to ask you, even though you are a little more established than some of the people I've interviewed, there are still questions I know people like to hear about. For example, if you could choose to collaborate with anyone in the business, in the music industry, who would that be?
With alive, right?
Yes, like in a concert or
I would actually say I would love to hear You Are Again. I'm independent artist through and through, and I support them. So I would love to play with Steven Rodriguez. It's a great artist. He has very sexy songs, and I love his style. And yeah, I would love to sing a song with him.
I'm sure if you could probably work that out. I don't know Steven Rodriguez, but I will certainly look up his music. If he's getting such high praise from you, he's got to be well worth listening.
Heck yeah, it
Um,
is. You commented on a cover that I did of one of his songs. It was "The Devil Wears Lace." I think you can remember that one.
I do. I do remember that was very your version of it was very good. I'd love to hear his version as well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
his is good too.
what is your favorite song to perform?
My favorite song to perform at the moment is it is actually "The Devil Wears Lace."
Well,
I
having
really
heard
have
you
a lot of
perform it,
I have a
having heard
lot
you
of fun
perform that
recording.
song, it's a very good choice to make.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
and I do
it,
encourage people, if you haven't heard that, um, definitely look it up. It's a good song. If you could give a message to your fans moving forward, what message would you tell your fans?
um I would say stay tuned, and Rob is always reinventing himself, and I try to bring as many styles out as I can. So I guess all my, I guess I have 22 songs out now. So all my 22 songs are different, and I want to keep bringing different songs out there, different from each other. Always something new to experience. At the moment, I'm caretaking my mom. My dad passed away 5 weeks ago, so I'm kind of like caged here in Germany in that caretaking situation. But as soon as I can travel again, I will come and record new music. It's written already because I have a lot of time to write new music, as you can think.
I understand. Again, first of all, I want to tell you how sorry I am for the loss of your father.
Thank you.
Um, I lost my father 33 years ago, so it's not a fresh wound for me anymore. I also have a lot of respect for you taking the time necessary to make sure your mom's well cared for. And I have no doubt that you're constantly working and pushing yourself beyond what you're already comfortable with. And it shows in the things that you do on Clapper, in the performances that you give, but it also shows in the way that you encourage other people to step outside their comfort zone.
I
And
guess
that,
that's really important because we have so many people who have a talent and they just are not confident enough to bring it out. And this is also what we do at Rob and Friends and in the Artist Alliance. We bring them up stage. We had a lot of people singing the first time in front of an audience inside these shows, and they're now really pushing it, and are really good. I don't know. You maybe heard Jay Rita.
yeah,
She's one that started her singing actually with us, and to see them grow, that sometimes it gives me more satisfaction and more enjoyment than seeing me climb up the charts or something. I really find my pleasure and my satisfaction in pushing people and seeing them, watching them grow.
and that shows. I've been to several of your Wednesday and Sunday shows, and your love of seeing your friends perform, especially when they're performing for the first time, definitely shows through in your lives that I've seen on Clapper. And I'm sure you and Jay Rita is one of them that I've heard. She's got an amazing voice.
She's
It's
a killer.
hard to believe she's just finding that finding that confidence to be able to share her voice with people.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing,
And
and this
it's
is what I love to see. Like when people who have talent who are really like start to bring it out and have the confidence to do it actually.
Oh, I know you were an inspiration to a lot of people. Um, if you could change anything, though, about the music business, what would you change?
I would actually let all the streaming platforms die. So that's they're cool for us to bring music out, but on the other hand, they are really killing the music industry because of the payout that we get from it. So you cannot live as an independent artist. You can, even if you have thousands of plays, you cannot live from it when it's happening on the streaming platforms. So I'll remember the times when I got into a store buying these single CDs of artists, and you paid real money for it. And I think maybe it was back then it was a little too much, but what we have now is actually they rob us artists for our art, and I think art needs to be appreciated also financially because it costs to bring a good song out there. Like radio quality, you play good production, you that's not you don't just shake it out of your sleeve, you know, and you
Right.
gotta invest in it. And it the time that was killing us artists was actually COVID when they robbed our only chance that we have to earn good money and to make a living from is from gigging, and that was yeah, back then was robbed too from us. We couldn't gig, and at least that was our last source of really bringing money in. A lot of people got into the libraries for film and series in that TV deal stuff. That's a an
Right.
interesting option, but it needs time to have your foot in the door there.
Well, I definitely understand that. One more question, and I'll let you go. I know you're several hours ahead of me here, but what's
It's
next?
actually it's evening here, but let me tell you something. Tomorrow I will become grandfather for the second time. Well, the little one is not in the right position to have a natural birth, so they will get him out. My grandson, my first grandson. I have a granddaughter already. She's a year old, so now my grandson will be born tomorrow, and everybody is a little bit excited because I'm living with my daughter, my son-in-law, and my little granddaughter. This is where I have my little guest apartment, and yeah, we're all excited here. We're all a little shaky.
Well, congratulations. I have a grandson and a granddaughter as well. They're 2 and 1. So I'm really happy for your good news, and I'm sure my listeners will be happy for you as well. One final question: what's next for Rob George?
Next for Rob George is I wrote that song "Climb This Mountain." I wrote it originally for my dad who had Parkinson's. And climbing this mountain meant to care for him and to bring him through this illness until the last day. And I did it with my dad. Um, and now this climb this mountain thing goes out to my mom because she suffers from Alzheimer's. And we have, since dad passed away, it triggered bad, and we have a really bad situation. So I have the worst status that you can think of my mom. She recognizes me still, but she started to not recognize different other people of the family, and she also sometimes she thinks I'm my dad. So we're at a really serious stage at the moment, triggered by the funeral actually of my dad. And yeah, I would say I climbed this mountain, and then the first thing I gonna do as soon as I climb this mountain, I gonna organize a tour for the Artist Alliance in the U.S. That's what I want to do. I want to bring the Artist Alliance out of Klepper. I want to bring it into the 3D world, and I want to do shows with the Artist Alliance. That's my plan.
I like that plan, Rob. And if there's any way I can help you make that plan reality, just let me know.
Hey, you will be
Um,
part of it, and I know one of your boys actually is in the Artist Alliance too.
Matt
Uh,
Gardner.
Matt Gardner, and you were invited to bring the rest of the bros in. It's a great place, and just talk to them and bring them in. And like I said, the cool thing about the Artist Alliance is we are so different. We have a Spanish singer in there, really Spanish music. We have pop, we have classic, we have all these genres, and I think. When people watch our shows, I heard so many say that show could be on TV. It's so good, and this is what took me like into the idea of bringing it out in the 3D world, and I would love to have you on board.
I will definitely bring it to my bros members, and we'll try to get those gentlemen in to join Matt with the Artist Alliance. Um, I will join. I'm not necessarily an artist, but if it'll help them to come in, I'll bring them in with me.
It sure will. It sure will. I would so appreciate it.
All right, my friends, if in watching this interview, you questions that popped into your head that I should have asked George or Rob George or any of the previous people I interviewed, please post your questions in the comment section. Give me a like for this interview and a subscription, and be on the lookout for interviews coming in the future. Rob, I appreciate you taking some time to be with me and answer questions from my viewers.
That was absolutely cool. I love being on your show. Thank you so much, Big Tank.
And it was an honor for me for you to be here, Rob. So you have a wonderful day, and I'm going to pray for your mother.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Big Tank. See you in the Klepper streets.
I'll see you there. Take care.